welcome back to this tutorial. So last game we got the player movement script together. Just so you know, I haven't got the wall. The walls are still there. I've just turned off mesh rendering. So let's check out the player movement. Oh, yep. Just we can move left and right, and we have that clamping in effect. So that's excellent. Moving on, we're gonna build a ball, the ball script now. So just go new script, and we'll call it ball movement. Awesome. Click apply if you added it to that one up on that's not in your prefabs, and just move your script into scripts and open mono develop, and there we go. Yeah, if you just saw that, I was testing it a little bit before, so that's alright though. Alright, so we're going to have three variables, and we're also going to be making this called awake. Don't need to have this as awake, but I'm just going to have it as awake for now anyway. It doesn't really matter, especially because this is such a small script. So we want one private float variable called takeoff. We're going to equal that to a 500. You can make that anywhere, really. It doesn't really matter. 500 just seems like a pretty steady number. We're going to make a boolean. Now, boolean is a true or false. That's all it can be. It can be true or it can be false. So, is playing true or is playing false. Right now, default, it is set to false. Like this, we can make it false specifically because we want it to be false, but we won't. It's not that necessary. Actually, we might. We'll get back to it. So rigid body, and then we want to just type in rigid body just like that. So we're accessing the rigid body component here. Well, we're not accessing it yet. We're making a variable called rigid body. And now, so with that, it allows us to access this component in a second anyway. We'll access it down here. I'll show you by going rigid body equals get component greater than equal than signs, and then rigid body again, and then two parentheses and a semicolon. So this line here allows us to access all the rigid body accesses. So we can go rigid body dot. See, we have access to all this extra stuff now. But if I take, for example, if I do this and then go type in my rigid body variable, apparently we still have access to all of it. Okay, that I'm guessing if you do it, you'll probably get an error, because you do need the get component rigid body. Alright, so anyway, moving on. We'll also set the is playing. Why not? It won't harm it. Is playing equals false. So as soon as it turns on this script, it'll give us the component rigid body, and then it will set is playing, the boolean is playing equal to false immediately. Right now we're going to make an if statement, and we're going to go input.get key down, and then we'll go key code dot space. I just want to make it for PC at the moment. We will port this to mobile, but for testing purposes it will be on the PC. So we'll just do it on PC as of right now, all the controls, so we can test the game. It's very easy to change it. There's only a couple more words, and then adding I think a raycast. So it's very easy. We'll get back to it. We'll backtrace a little bit, but for now this will work perfectly fine. So with this if statement, it needs to get a key down. So if you press on your keyboard right now, as soon as you press space, that means it is going down. That means your key is down, and that's what it's looking for. It's not, and as soon as you let go of space, that means it's up. And then you could also use get key up, or you can just go get key, which is just held. Alright, we want get key down so it only does it once. And then we're saying key code dot space. So we're looking for the key space. And then we're saying these two ampersands, the ands. What this means is that on both sides, they have to be true. So both sides have to be true. Don't be mistaken by this false though. This actually is true, because right up here, like we said, it is playing equals false. See, the equal sign is equal to an assignment, whereas the double equals is actually equal to. So the is playing actually is false, and it's equaling false. So that is true. And then as soon as we hit the spacebar down, this becomes true. And then this whole line here becomes true, so we could move into this block of code. If any of this was false, it won't do anything. It'll continue down if there's more blocks of code, or it just won't do anything in the script. Alright, so quick explanation. If one of them was false and one of them was true as well, that will not work. It has to be both false. If it was the OR, this is the OR, so it's two pipe straight up and down lines. It should be above your enter key on your, it's a US standard keyboard, so above your enter key, and you have to click the shift. And OR means this one can be true and this one can be false, or this one can be false and this one can be true. As long as one of them's true or both of them are true, then it will go into this next line of code. Alright, so quick explanation there. Alright, moving on. We want to go transform dot parent equals null. So what this means is, if we go back into Unity, we can see our player, and the ball is attached to our player. That means our player is the parent of the ball. So in our code, we are saying that I want you to not be attached to the ball, to the player anymore. All right, and then we'll go is playing equals true, and then we'll go rigid body dot is kinematic equals false. I'll explain it really quickly soon. Rigid body dot add force parentheses new vector 3, new v3, and then we want to go takeoff, comma, takeoff, comma, 0, and another parenthesis. Alright, so we have rigid body dot is kinematic equals false. So in our Unity, we're turning off this. We're going to be completely turning it off. And then we're adding force to a new vector 3 of takeoff, and 0. So that means it's going to just send it straight up. Well, actually, it will send it off to a side, depending on which side you're on. Alright, so everything seems to be looking well. Just make sure you save it off, jump in, and let's give it a shot. So if you watch the hierarchy, you'll see the player detach itself, the ball detach itself from the player. So let's give it a shot. Let's see if that actually works. So we can still move. Everything's good. We have a reference script. We have something that's missing apparently, but whatever. We'll get back to that. And then press space. Nothing's working. What is going on? You have the script attached to you. Why are you complaining? Remove. Add component. Can't add script component ball movement because the script class cannot be found. Make sure that. Okie dokie. Right. We'll fix that up. I swear I put a capital in front of that, but obviously not. Just check it, make sure it's all correct. Yes, everything's good. Attach it back. Apply it. Now let's try that again. Yep, we haven't got that reference. Now if you just press space, oh, look at that. Haha, it works. It was terrible, but it works. Let's try again. So yeah, just pressing space and we have our ball. You can see that it detached from the player as well. So the ball became its own single parent now. It's not attached to anyone. So if that ball speed was too slow, just come in here, just increase it by 1,000. Let's say if you have to put the F behind it if it's a float or a double, unless you're going to go .0. I think that's no. You have to still put an F behind it. So with 1,000, look at that, makes it go a fair bit faster. It's up to you how fast you want it. You could be making this for a friend or your kid or anything like that. So, build it to how you like to build it. Just showing you that you can change things around. So I think that'll be it for this tutorial. I'm sorry about the quickness, but yeah, next tutorial we're going to really get into it. We're going to build a game manager where we're going to set all the block breaking and all that type of good stuff. So yeah, I hope you definitely stick around for that. Until next time, I'll see you later.